Establishing a strategy for growth is one of the biggest challenges for any business, and it's becoming clear that companies of all sizes are looking to technology to help them take that next step. In the ultra-competitive global manufacturing landscape, organizations are using technology as a transformational tool, the foundations of which can allow for growing businesses to scale at a much faster pace and with fewer challenges than those that came before them. With this, there are new opportunities that have proven compelling for all sizes of businesses, specifically how they can use technology to leapfrog their competitors. So, what does this look like? Fortunately, digital transformation can take many forms, but unfortunately, many growing businesses have big wish lists and small IT departments, leaving them with major questions like where to begin and how to get the most bang for their buck. So today we're joined by Nick Casalina, Director of Industry and Solution Strategy for Infor, a global software company that builds SMB and enterprise ERP software cloud products for manufacturing, among other industries. Nick, you've seen this all play out countless times, I'm sure. Tell us a little bit about the trends and challenges that you're seeing among Infor's industrial customers, especially those growing businesses who are looking to technology to gain a leg up.
Sure. We see a variety of challenges across manufacturers, really of all sizes, that are similar for all of them. But when it comes to the small and medium-sized business, it's really about organizing your business to make it more effective and more competitive and provide more visibility so that you can continue to operate in the same ways that you were able to when you were a very small company. But more specifically, when it comes to manufacturing, we see a couple different challenges related to the changes in the industry. So for these types of manufacturers, there's a lot more emphasis on the customer. The customer is demanding more unique, configure-to-order, engineer-to-order products that are different than something you would give to a separate customer. So to be able to do that, you need to be able to manage your supply chain effectively. You need to be able to communicate with the customer and make it very easy for them to interact with you, understanding what they're going to get, when they're going to get it, how much it's going to cost, and be able to pay for it, of course. So you need to find ways in which to both change the design process, but as well as the communication with the customer processes as well. We also see challenges related to the supply chain and making it more difficult than ever to manage and forecast for demand to be able to deliver on your commitments to customers. So you've probably heard the data point that 80% of all supply chain data exists outside of your four walls. Well, if you can't access that data, it makes it very difficult to understand when am I going to get materials? What are my customers demanding? When do they want it? And how can I actually deliver on those commitments? Then you see the challenges related to just operating as a manufacturer, a lack of visibility on the shop floor and in the warehouse, being able to track materials, track processes, understand how effective you are at utilizing your machinery, and being able to maintain that machinery effectively. And in addition to that, we'd also see challenges related to customers demanding new and unique products and services. So we talked about the products being more configured earlier, but also demand for value-added services after the product has been delivered. And of course, these manufacturers need to understand how they're going to actually deliver on those new services to make sure that they're profitable. And then lastly, really, and probably most importantly for this conversation, is the disruptive technology that's become available to manufacturers of all sizes. Many manufacturers have either no solutions at all, or they have old, outdated solutions that are siloed, maybe heavily configured to fit the needs of the business. It's really holding these businesses back from having a solution that's modern, up to date, take advantage of emerging technology like analytics, IoT, AI, the cloud, of course, which are really core specific enablers for competing in the modern manufacturing environment. So those are really kind of the main challenges that we see out there today for small and medium-sized manufacturers.
Mm-hmm. Well, so obviously these businesses are dealing with a lot of complexity. Let's talk a little bit more about what role technology plays in helping to address these concerns that they have.
Sure. So technology really is an enabler of fighting these challenges that I talked about earlier. So, for example, in the configuration process, when you're trying to deliver a quote to a customer, in years past, there'd be a lot of communication back and forth. Somebody, a sales engineer calling engineering, calling finance, calling the customer, calling manufacturing operations to be able to understand exactly what the configuration is going to be. Well, through technology, you can automate those processes to provide an accurate quote immediately. But I mean, that's just one of thousands and an infinite number of examples. It's really all about providing automation and differentiation within the organization, automation of specific processes so that you can carry them out more quickly and more accurately, but also differentiating on the experiences you're delivering to your employees, your customers, and your extended enterprise. And when I talk about experience, I mean, how are they interacting? So for the employee themselves, are they able to have easy access to data no matter where they are, no matter what time of day it is? If they're out in the field, for example, a field service technician, do they have access to work orders? So having all of this functionality is going to enable these businesses to understand their business problems and match them to technology so that they can become more agile, effective, and make better decisions.
Mm-hmm. So if we're looking at this huge scope of issues, is there any way that these businesses can actually prioritize which opportunities they need to address first, for example?
Sure. So, I mean, for the small and medium-sized business to start, they're really going to want to focus on just making sure that they're able to get all their ducks in a row when it comes to supporting their business processes. We here at Infor, we have built solutions that are very much industry specific with last mile features and functionality, featuring best practices, support the needs of a variety of different types of manufacturers. So understanding what the best practices are to actually run a business is important for businesses that are trying to grow and change and become more effective. But then it comes down to really, what are your strategic objectives as an organization? So I mentioned earlier, if your business is looking to expand into services, look to technology that may be able to support those services out in the field, being able to track machinery and assets, being able to draw data out of those things out in the field, and being able to support the actions of the employees out in the field utilizing your technology. So it really comes down to, one, getting your table stakes to run your business, but then defining your strategic priorities of a business to match the technology that you're investing in. So it's not about digital for digital's sake. You need to have a real business problem that you're looking to solve.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I think it would be helpful if you could give us a few kind of real world examples of how you've seen some of this stuff play out with some of Infor's existing customers.
Sure. So I kind of referenced it a little bit earlier, but talking about changing that experience for an end user, for our customers, end users, I should say. So some company that is trying to sell heavily configured products that, as I mentioned earlier, in the past would be a lot of back and forth and checking spreadsheets to see how much something's going to cost. Not only automating that process through a configurator, but then applying a web portal to make it actually possible for the customer to go in and see what they're going to get and purchase right there and configure right there and get an understanding of what their products are going to be, enables quicker quoting and less lost deals. That back and forth, it could cause a lot of customers to look elsewhere. That's one example. A lot of examples around drawing data from easily bought sensors off of their machinery in the warehouse and being able to perform predictive based maintenance. So to be able to reduce downtime, to be able to ensure that they're not spending too much to maintain their assets, and ultimately deliver products that are more profitable. So those are just a few, but we've got tons of customers that are utilizing our cloud solutions to consolidate their technology across their organization, to have one single source of data that ensures that they're able to stay up to date, take advantage of emerging technology, and continue to grow and scale their business.
Great points. You had said earlier, I think technology for technology's sake or data for data's sake, those examples is great to understand, this is maintenance, this is asset tracking, this is quality control, just so many things involved that could better improve your business. So that's really helpful. Nick, I'm sure this gives our audience a lot to think about. For those out there who are looking to more effectively utilize technology solutions within their businesses, what can they do to get more information?
Sure. We have all sorts of information about the topics we talked about today and the various other solutions that we implement here at Infor. And you can find out more about that at infor.com/manufacturing.
Okay, well, thanks so much, Nick, for joining us today. We really appreciate your time, and have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Got that vibe, yeah, I ain't petty.